back to another video. It is Monday afternoon. I've just got back in from work, and last week I didn't get to upload a video, so one should have been going out today, but I took on extra hours last week. I was covering for someone, and yeah, I was in work every single day, so I didn't have time to film anything or edit anything, so it was unfortunate. I missed today's upload, and I just feel a bit off kilter. I think because I'm so used to my routine and going through all the steps, I just now feel completely out of sync with everything else. And then I did extra today as well. I don't normally work on Monday. July in general for me is looking very, very busy, so I've taken on extra hours at work throughout this month. On top of that, I've got family events going on different weekends. Yeah, this is like the most jam-packed I've ever been for a long time, and everything's fallen out of place of when I'd like to do things, like when I do my exercise, when I do my swimming, all of that sort of thing. It's all got jumbled up, and I'm just trying to organise my schedule so I'm doing the things that I want to do. But I did have a lovely weekend. I'll put now the clips from our trip at the weekend to the Tower of London, and that was really, really lovely. And then the next time you'll see me will be Wednesday, because hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have Wednesday off, so I can do some filming and do some nice things and hopefully get back into the rhythm of everything that I like to do. The Tower of London stands on the north bank of the River Thames, a fortress that has watched over the city for nearly 1,000 years. Its story begins in 1066, when William the Conqueror ordered the construction of the White Tower, a symbol of power meant to dominate London and deter rebellion. Over the centuries, the tower expanded into a spiralling complex of walls, gates and courtyards, becoming one of the most important and infamous sites in English history. Within these walls, kings and queens shaped the nation. The tower served as a royal residence, an armoury, a treasury, a mint, and even a zoo. But it is best known for its darker chapters. This is where Anne Boleyn, Lady Jane Grey, and other high-profile prisoners were held and in some cases executed during turbulent moments of political and religious upheaval. Every stone seems to hold a whisper of the past. Today, the Tower of London is far from its grim reputation. Visitors can explore the White Tower, home to the royal armouries and towering displays of medieval weapons and armour. You can walk along the ancient battlements, imagining archers keeping watch over the river. In the medieval palace, restored rooms reveal how royalty once lived, complete with colourful tapestries and carved wooden furnishings. I didn't open that window. One of the most dazzling highlights is the crown jewels. Protected behind thick vault doors, these priceless symbols of monarchy, including the imperial state crown and the sovereign's sceptre, sparkle with thousands of diamonds, pearls and precious stones. It is no surprise that no filming or photography is allowed. Seeing them up close, though, is a moment that stays with you. It is now Wednesday afternoon. I've had a very slow morning and I so needed that. Just had a light workout, had a bath, then read for about an hour, and yeah, just a really slow morning. I have to go out this afternoon to visit my mum, but apart from that, I'm going to take it easy today. I've just been taking on extra hours at work, and like I was saying earlier, on Monday, it just disrupts my routine, but also that it means that I push back on me time, you know, just that moment where you can devote yourself to something that you want to do, as I suppose things that you have to do. So yes, so this morning was just a case of doing the things, exactly the things I wanted to do, bit of pampering, bit of exercise, because, oh, that's another story actually, was that last week I had a blood test for my cholesterol, which I knew was high 2 years ago, and it's been well overdue, but I thought I'd been doing everything in moderation with my diet, you know. I hadn't completely cut everything bad out, but I thought I was doing the things that would reduce the cholesterol. Long story short, it hadn't, and it's slightly raised even more. So I'm now on a super strict diet. So I'm having herbal teas, black coffee, no milk, no meat. I'll allow myself a bit of chicken breast every now and again, but no red meat whatsoever. And my idea around it all is, I'm thinking that the cholesterol, the high cholesterol, is more due to genetics than it is to my diet. But in saying that, I know I am a stone overweight. So I'm going to try and lose that stone, and then hopefully in 3 months' time have another blood test and see if it's made any impact. But it means I need to be super strict with my diet. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's manageable. I'm still having my oats in the morning, but now I'm not having any milk with it. I'm just having water, the chia seeds, and a tiny bit of jam or honey just to sweeten it a bit, and a bit of cinnamon. That's my breakfast. It keeps me full. To be fair, I don't feel hungry on it. It's just, it's very bland. Having a bit of milk in it would make all the difference, but I can't. I have to take this seriously now. So that's my breakfast. My lunch at the moment has just been salad with a bit of red pepper hummus, a little bit of couscous, beans, soluble fibres, again, is important for the diet. So I put a few beans with it. Yeah, and just a few tomatoes on top of that. Again, it's kind of filling. It's not, I don't feel hungry after I've eaten, which is good, but it doesn't last for ages. So that's the only drawback. I could add some chicken to that, but at the moment I'm just trying to keep as meat-free as possible. And then my dinner for tonight is going to be shakshuka, but without the eggs. Eggs possibly high in cholesterol, depending on some scientific studies, but they do contain fat. So I'm not going to introduce eggs until after I've lost the weight and I've got some indication that my cholesterol is going down. But ideally, I would like to introduce eggs, avocado, nuts back into my diet again. But I just need to have some indication that my cholesterol is lowering. My dinner is going to be shakshuka, but without the eggs. So beans, tomato, garlic, red pepper, and probably some courgette as well. And that'll make a nice meal. And that again, and I'll have some pita bread with that, but no butters, no spreads, nothing like that. Just bread on its own with the sauce. So I'm quite looking forward to that actually, because that will be a nice filling meal for me. And then for dessert, it'll be 0% yogurt with some berries, and again a teaspoon, literally a teaspoon of honey. And then we'll see if I'm successful in losing any weight. I should be. I weighed myself this morning and I was 3 pounds lighter, and it's been just under a week. So I'm hoping it's making an impact. But when I was weighed at the doctor's surgery, I was fully clothed. So I realised it probably only adds like a pound on, but still. Also, it's in the day, so I would have had my breakfast, my lunch, I would have had numerous cups of tea at that point when I stepped on the scale. So I feel like it was an unjust weighing in, but it wasn't actually. The weight didn't surprise me because it wasn't a bad weight, but I know that I'm overweight, so I know that I've still got that stone to lose. So anyway, hopefully within 3 months I would have lost it, maybe even a little bit more. Cholesterol will hopefully go down a bit more as well. But I've got my doctor's appointment in 3 weeks' time to discuss it all, and we'll see what they want to do. I really don't want to go on medication, but that might be essential for me, I don't know. I'll have that discussion later on. But yeah, that is my week in a nutshell. Just dieting and working, fun. So I really needed this morning just to do absolutely nothing, and yeah, I feel refreshed for it. So I'm just going to have my herbal tea, and then I'm going to leave in a bit, and then later on I'll show you how I'm making my dinner, because it'll probably be the most exciting thing I'm going to eat today. So I'll see you in a bit. I have got changed into my shorts, into my pyjama shorts, because it is warm. It's okay now in the evenings, it actually gets quite cold at night, but this time during the day it's 3:30 and the heat is probably at its most intense. So what do I decide to do? Cooking, of course, something hot. Bought myself some spring onions because I couldn't be bothered to cut up an actual onion. 2 red peppers, 2 courgettes, some butter beans, a jar of passata. So I'm just going to put that all in there. Not the courgettes, I'm going to actually roast those in the oven. I did this the other day and they were so tasty. Not crispy, they were still like on the soggier side, but yeah, they just tasted amazing to me. And since everything is being kept low in calorie, whatever gives me the smallest amount of pleasure, I'm going for. So let's start with the courgettes. I'm just going to chop them into like this much of a length, probably like an inch, maybe an inch and a half. Not good with measurements. And I'm going to put them through this really tiny chopper to get like little thin chips. So here are my courgettes all put into tiny little batons. Nice. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of olive oil to that and a bit of salt, and then just put them on a roasting tray straight into the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes depending on how crisp you can get them, but it doesn't get particularly crispy. And I've got this fancy looking one from Sainsbury's, so let's see what it's like. Just throw in a little bit of salt and give that a really good mix about so the oil coats as much as the courgette as possible. Roasting tray. I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes and see if it needs any longer than that. Lovely, so that's all done. Now to start on my shakshuka. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm just cutting into strips 2 red peppers and dicing 2 spring onions, and then I'm going to soften them down, and I've got some mushrooms left over, I'm going to throw those in as well. Right, I've drained out as much liquid as possible from the beans, so I'm just going to throw those in. Probably add in some spices of some nature. I don't know quite what to add in because I don't want it spicy. So I'm going to go for smoked paprika, ground cumin and a bit of turmeric. That is smelling amazing. Right, I'm going to put a bit of garlic in. Probably like a teaspoon and a half. I've got some leftover passata which I'm going to use, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough. Why I got the other one. You're going to need the second one as well. Right, so I'm going to let that cook and marinate for probably about half an hour. My courgettes needed longer, so they're in the oven for another 10 minutes. And then I've got dinner prepared. And as you can see, there's a lot there, so I can batch freeze that as well on days when I don't feel like cooking, which is always really helpful. And now I can enjoy the rest of my afternoon relaxing on the sofa, not doing anything. One thing I am suffering from is headaches because of I guess it's the lack of calories. But yeah, just really bad headaches. I just want to take some paracetamol and sit on the sofa, have a cold drink, which is going to be water. I've got sparkling water to jazz it up, and yeah, just take it easy. And there you have my dinner. So the bean stew with the courgette on the top, some whole wheat pita bread, and I am watching Summer 36, which is like a French murder mystery. Thoroughly enjoying that. It is actually a lot earlier than I anticipated to eat dinner, but my headache is so bad. I need to get some food into me and need to get into bed. I think the football's on tonight. I don't think I want to watch it. I think I'm just going to, I haven't watched any of their last matches, so for that reason alone I won't be watching tonight's match. I'll wait until I hear the score the next morning, but hopefully we'll get through. And I'm going to now just eat and then get into bed. So I will speak to you tomorrow. So I'm about to go off to work. It's Thursday morning now. Headache is still a dull ache, but it's not as bad as it was. And we lost the football last night, so it's just as well I didn't watch. Just went to bed early. I'll do a quick outfit of the day. It's just a linen dress from M&S. I really must stop buying from there. So I will see you hopefully next week for another video. I know I've got another busy week next week, and I know this video would have been really short as well. So yeah, it's just waiting to get back into my proper routine when I've got 2 days off that I can devote to filming and editing and all that sort of business. So yeah, hopefully this will go up, and hopefully I'll make another video next week. But until then, I hope you all have a lovely week ahead, and I'll see you soon. Bye.